I mean the one with the mullet
Oh, I
blowing
have
in
a
the wind.
mullet,
Can
and
we get that with the fan blowing on the face?
we're gonna leave you with the mullet comment. What's up, everybody?
Hey, I don't. Where's your mullet?
I don't have it up. I have to find it.
Oh man, everybody has to bring their mullet.
Oh, here, we'll go daydreaming while you bring us in.
Oh, hey Charles, how are you?
Little background.
Oh, that's lovely.
You like that?
Yeah. Hey, so thanks for finding the Geek Spot, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Who's slowly joining in. Great to see you all as always. Dylan, Charles,
What's up, guys?
But yeah. So
It's
I hope
distracting,
everybody
isn't
had
it?
a fantastic weekend. Had a lot of content.
All right,
You know, not as much bulk content drop as we've had the last few weeks, but a lot of different content
yeah,
dropped
right?
this last week. So so were you up to, Frank?
I have had what could only be described as the worst 7 days that I can actually remember, like at all. I've had
That's impressive.
such a bad 7 days. I'll break it down for you real fast. The water line running from the fridge down to the water to give us, cold water and ice cubes. So we're fancy like that, right?
Yeah.
There was a pinhole in that for about 2 weeks that I just noticed the other day. Got to get a new suit because that was hanging in the basement where the water was spraying out. We didn't notice because it was, so there was a whole lot of stuff down there. Got that fixed. The dryer went.
Yeah.
Got a new dryer, $75. Somebody up in Trevose, real nice guy. Got home, got that all hooked up. Forgot to turn the gas back on, so 2 loads of towels didn't dry for a couple hours because I forgot to turn the gas back on. Then I went upstairs to the sink. This is all in the span of 3 or 4 days. Went upstairs to the sink. Went to throw some stuff down the garbage disposal. Flipped the switch and got nothing. So the garbage disposal is broken now. And as I complained to a friend of mine, he said, "Welcome to owning a house."
It's fair.
No
I
sympathy.
feel like it's that or the gremlins that I planted there.
Yeah,
It could be those two.
Is it to try and herd me back to the TV to watch stuff because I'm too busy fixing stuff to actually watch stuff now?
Look, it's probably a ploy from Warner Brothers Discovery to make you not think about all the stuff that they keep pulling.
That's good. That's good.
They're probably doing it everywhere. They're saying let's make people too busy to notice what we're that they can't watch OKKO anymore.
Look at this over here. We're gonna do this over here.
Exactly. So Charles, Creature Feature weekend in Gettysburg. Nice.
Okay.
Dylan's got a. Dylan's got Salem Friday morning.
I thought he was going to make a Star Trek joke when he said
the Silver Scream Horror Convention. Hopefully Gary Busey's not there.
Ooh.
I don't know if he's allowed out of the state of New Jersey right now, though.
I think Gary Busey's got some issues that he needs to. Apparently, he's banned from that convention.
Yeah,
which that works out.
That's fairly not super late breaking news, but I think charges were official today.
Were they?
On that. Yeah.
I didn't look for that. I stopped looking up charges on actors when Warner Brothers said, "You know what? We're sticking with Ezra."
They have done something really good for themselves, checking into rehab. It's a good thing.
Sure it is.
We'll see how they do in rehab.
Apparently, David Zaslav really, really, really likes Ezra in that role, and the movie is testing really, really well.
I'll tell you what that tells me, that he likes Ezra in the role. That he has never read a comic book in his life. Is what that tells me.
Yeah.
Ezra is not close to any iteration of Barry Allen, and not even really Wally West that we've ever had.
No. Ooh, pop that up there. Here, I got you.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was just on the nightly news right before we hopped on this, which is on ABC. It probably is. Esther Miller is probably sabotaging Frank's house for
Thanks,
all
Tom.
the smack he keeps talking.
Really?
Yeah, so the Busey thing I mentioned earlier was Gary Busey was a little inappropriate, or a lot inappropriate, depending on who he was talking to at Monster Mania in Cherry Hill the other week. So a lot of people filed charges with the Cherry Hill Police Department against him.
Yeah.
And you can look up all those details online somewhere.
Be careful how you search for things.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a couple gigs, so those were good. And then went to Imagine Dragons last Tuesday
I saw that.
with Macklemore opening.
Oh, shit. I totally forgot. Go ahead.
And Kings Elliot, which was awesome.
Yeah, how's
Kings
Macklemore?
Elliot was good. She's very depressing. She's got a lot of drama in her life,
Oh,
being like
does
20
she?
years old.
Oh,
But it's she even says, I'm going to depress you for the next half hour, and she tried. And then Macklemore was probably one of the top like 5 or 6 acts I've ever seen. Just
no fooling, really?
Yeah, he's great, man. And Imagine Dragons was fantastic too. Overall, it's probably my top 5 concerts
Wow.
that I've been to.
Wow.
And my kid, who's the whole reason I went, he liked
Mhm.
it, so that's a plus.
Did he like it?
He did.
Good.
Saw the Better Call Saul finale.
I saw that was on.
They landed it.
Yeah.
He did
I
a
heard
great
it.
job.
Rave reviews all over the place for it.
They showed all these other shows how you can get it done, and how you can put everybody right where they should be at the end, and tie up all the loose ends and tie it right back into all the storyline you had. You got, you had some Jesse Pinkman cameos towards the end there. You had some oh god, why can't I remember his name? Walter White. Little Walter White cameo at the end there.
Okay.
And you know what happens to everybody else because of the future, but like it ties up all the people you needed to know where they went.
Right.
And how they ended up where they are. And then it also pulled to the future to tie up Saul's story going forward. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's over now, so you can start it in between Friday night and How I Met Your Mother.
I am done How I Met Your Mother, and I hated the finale so much more than I remembered when I watched it. And that's all I got to say.
It was bad the first time.
It was really so. I'll sum that up real fast and just say I tapped out because it was 9 seasons, so I tapped in and out of the show, and I didn't watch it the whole 9 seasons. So it was nice to catch episodes that I hadn't seen, but I did watch the whole final season, and it was really weird that they decided to spend the final season all in that one place, leading up to the wedding, and then you don't learn the mother's name until like 2 minutes before she dies. Like, right. and it's like she dies and they kind of gloss over it. And then it's bang the desk. And then it's How I Met Your Aunt Robin. So I don't know.
Right.
I was very unhappy with that. I did forget one thing that I did this weekend, Saturday night. I went and attended a concert of the musical Variety at Parks, the casino.
Okay.
In the Excite Center. And I saw Blondie.
It's a tight room, Excite Center. It's very
not a big room.
No, I just meant like the seats are very.
Yeah, I didn't sit in the seat. I stood in the back and with Ange and Katie, and we stood there sipping our drinks. And every time a security guard would come over, we told them, "Oh, we're gonna go get another drink," and then we'd move a couple steps over and then stand there.
Who was there?
Blondie.
All right.
That's what I said. Didn't you hear me say that? I went to the Blondie concert.
I just heard you went to a concert.
Oh no, I said Blondie. I'm sorry. Debbie Harry is 77 years old and can still she can really sing. Like musically, she was great. The band was super, super tight. It's the original drummer and her, the only 2 originals left, from what I understand from the band. And he absolutely overfills his ass off in the breakdowns.
Well, look, when you're one of the two highest paid people on stage, you get to do what you want.
Right. And they had their keyboard player come out with a guitar.
Well, yeah, as every good 70s, 80s
Yeah.
rock, disco, pop,
Now,
island band should.
On the flip side of that, I knew 4 or 5 songs, which she crammed all at the end, which was awesome for me. and the video was really, really bad in there. Like I sent you that picture.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, the video seemed off. Now, when she did Heart of Glass, the video was sensational.
Right.
The effects were really good. But again, you're in a casino. You're not really expecting a whole lot. It was sold out. So it was a really good crowd. And I mean, I had fun. I went with, but I didn't sit in my seat because the seats were really like,
they are very tiny, and people in front of you like to stand up.
Well,
and I feel like it's tilted forward as you go, that they get higher the farther in front of you they are.
No, it went down.
I know, but it feels that way when you're in the seats.
So where we were sitting, there was a big post in the way of the one video screen.
Yes.
We were on the right side. And Katie, when she finally went to her seat, the guy that was in front of her stood up, was like 7 feet tall. Like literally, she took a picture in front of him like, oh my God. And he actually turned around and he was like, I am so sorry, but I can't see sitting down. And she went, well, I can't see when you stand up. And she laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's happened to me every time I've been to that theater. I've been to 3 or 4 concerts there, and every single time. And I'm not a short dude.
No.
But there's much taller guys in front of me every time I go to a concert there. It's usually at that place, like all of the 6'6" and taller guys all have seats in the first 5 rows.
Yep, we were in the back. We were way in the back, and it was, like I said, it was a good show. She really, she sounded great. She definitely doesn't move around stage a lot at 77.
No,
she's not. At least she wasn't sitting down.
Well, so that's true. So while you were doing that, I was watching The Night of 1,000 Cats in Calliope.
What the hell's that?
So that is the bonus 11th episode of Sandman that they dropped.
Oh, that's what it's called. Okay.
Based on a couple extra comics that they wrote. So the cast of The Night of 1,000 Cats, which was animated, which was kind of cool.
Oh, neat.
So pulled away from live action and animated, almost pitch perfect to the comic book that it was pulled from the Sandman series. Also had basically the voice cast of Good Omens, which is another Neil Gaiman book, but it had David Tennant and Michael Sheen both did voices in it, as well as Georgia Tennant, David Tennant's wife. It's kind of neat. So bringing all of Gaiman's people into play, and Gaiman even had a role in that when he was the voice of the Raven in Dreamworld.
Okay.
Kind of cool. Not a great story. It was fine. It was kind of filler. It was like, hey, we have extra money that they paid us to do this thing. Let's do this.
Okay.
And then the second one, called Calliope, was fantastic and was a great modernization of the original comic. It's written because I read through the comics this weekend. DC Infinite dropped the rest of the Sandman books in there that at least all of this season 1 stories were based off of. So they dropped like the first 20 issues of the Sandman series from the early 90s, late 80s. So you got to see all of the different ones and how they pulled the rest of the storyline in. But the Calliope story, even casting Arthur Darvill, who you know as Rip Hunter.
Oh, okay.
In the role. He was great. But he even looks like the guy from the comic book that's 35 years old. It's crazy.
Oh, nice.
Like you'd be like, oh my God, they cast this guy because he looks like the comic book. No, they cast him because he's Darvill. So, but great telling of the story. That one was another dark kind of pathing, which is, I think, where the show will succeed if it lives on. I don't know if you have that in our rundown later on.
Which thing?
About Sandman season 2.
No, I figured I'd leave anything Sandman related to you.
So it does pull in. It continues the Sandman's methods of modernizing and expanding on the storytelling to make it more inclusive as a whole without hurting the story.
Okay.
And just everything that they do in these is completely natural. The way Neil Gaiman pulled it all in, it's being still involved. It's never forced in the show. You know, there have been shows where to change the source material, it feels forced when they do it. Not a second of it in the Sandman series, in my opinion. And so Neil Gaiman has said, I do not know if we're getting a season 2. It has been the most watched show on Netflix for 2 straight weeks.
Wow. They should get a season
Worldwide,
2.
not just US, like worldwide.
Right. So they should hopefully get one.
However, he also says it is an insanely expensive show. So we have to be number 1 for a lot longer than this for them to have the justification to make a season
That sounds,
2.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, there's been some big numbers of debuts and things watched, and where we're at with CGI is a whole nother world. They didn't spend a lot of it on the first episode of Sandman, but they got better with it.
Yeah, I hope that works out for other shows too.
So yeah, so I think that was everything I watched and some of what I read and all those things this past week. It was a busy week.
So not only have you recommended the show, and obviously the world is recommending the show by keeping it at number 1, and people in the chat have recommended the show, and I'm getting it from all sides. A friend of mine on Facebook that never watches TV and doesn't really like pay attention to TV stuff made a post today about how amazingly awesome the show is. And a couple of other girls that she's friends with who also don't keep up with TV regularly also we watched this and it's been awesome. So I will transition. Hopefully this weekend I can start it. And got a busy week coming up to begin with.
If not, I'm going to put this out there right now and put it in the world that it's Frank's fault if we don't get a season 2 of Sandman.
I know I always say I'm putting stuff on a list and then I never ever go and watch it. I promise you, I have a very, very busy week coming up. I will start it Saturday or Sunday for sure.
Oh, it's a long time from now.
It is.
It's a lot of stuff that can come up between now and then.
Lots of stuff can happen. Another show that just started filming, season 4 of The Boys is underway, and they've released the title of the first episode.
Oh, what's that?
The title of the first episode is Department of Dirty Tricks.
It's not Zaslav's Last Stand.
It's not Zaslav's Last Stand, but that would be awesome if they would be able to throw something like that.
And something I feel like the Vought Twitter account will do at some point.
Yeah, I really, really think that would be great. So that is...
And if any of you watching don't follow the Vought Twitter account, do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Because they love, especially now that they're filming again, they love to comment on pop culture and anything in the comic book world that happens.
So they're filming. Bad news for you people out there waiting for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot that was supposed to happen back in 2018. It is now on pause indefinitely.
Oh, and they even had the girl cast for it.
Yep.
They had Excess, right? From The Flash. Was in line to be playing Buffy.
Yep. So it is on pause, and the executive producer Gail Berman said that when something is on pause, that's basically industry speak for purgatory. So right now, that's kind of
there's a lot of reasons for. I mean, Josh Whedon is still not in a great spot. So I can see them not being able to do a whole lot with that. I don't know where the rights fell for that show.
Yeah,
if he had to be involved, or they had to pay him, and that ended up causing some issues with people. Or how do you retell the story and convert it, and make it still matter? Right. In today's market with all these other shows that are doing things based off where that led the genre.
That's a little rough. And HBO Max cut 36 more movies and TV shows. 36 titles in total they cut.
A lot of animation.
If you want, I have a list of them. I mean, 36 is a long list to read through.
Just read a couple that we might know. I know there's a lot that I never heard of that were on there.
So under the originals umbrella, Aquaman, King of Atlantis, didn't even know what that was.
That was an animated series that they were going to do with the blonde Arthur Curry.
Okay. Ellen's Next Great Designer. Can't say I would be upset at an Ellen DeGeneres show being canceled.
Yeah, she's canceled everywhere now.
Yeah, she
Official.
is. Let's see. The Not So Late Show with Elmo, or the Not Too Late Show with
Yeah.
Elmo, The Runaway Bunny, Tig and Seek, Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs.
Yeah, they canceled a lot of kids programming.
They did, and they went
Be-
and canceled a lot of stuff from their Cartoon Network side.
the OKKO and a lot of those. So the problem with
OKKO's
this,
gone. Uncle Grandpa, Victor
Uncle
and
Grandpa's gone.
Valentino. Uncle Grandpa's
Wow.
gone. Dodo, Elliot from Earth, and their acquired titles: Detention Adventure, The Ollie and Moon Show, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. Right on the heels of a Pac-Man live-action movie coming. Hey, going to cancel the cartoon?
Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. If that's the one, I think the old one. It was pretty good.
Yeah, if it's the one from when I was younger.
Yeah, their problem right now is they are trying to not pay residuals.
Yeah, they have $3 billion in debt.
So the hard part about this right now is, if it was just on HBO, we wouldn't hear about it. But with streaming content, it's all there, and you just watch it. Now it's not.
Right.
So, we're watching, the corporate cuts that a lot of us, depending on where you work over the years, have experienced and seen either firsthand or secondhand, where companies make layoffs and cuts and things like that. We're getting to watch that happen to our content now.
Yeah, it sucks.
So they don't have to pay residuals to the creators and the actors and the animators and all these people that do these things on these shows. Warner Brothers is so tight for cash right now that they've decided to even cut paying those people after the fact.
Bet you Zaslav gets a bonus.
Look, I'm sure he got $1 billion bonus during this merger, if not more.
So Young Justice is out, right?
Not official.
Okay.
But not likely to be renewed.
Titans is coming back, and then it's kind of on the fence after that, I think, right?
Yeah, it is every year though. Titans and Doom Patrol. There was another show that made some money maybe for WB last night.
Right.
That ran a preview beforehand to some of the upcoming shows that they're going to be releasing. Titans and Doom Patrol is on that. I believe Harley Quinn and the spinoff are still safe.
Harley Quinn is still safe. According to this, and this was 5 days ago, this says that Young Justice was reportedly canceled ahead of its season 5 on HBO Max, but this was 5 days ago, so it could be not, or
it also takes them like 2 years to put out a season of Young Justice.
Okay.
At least. The animation style is locked in, and they've been doing it for 10 years, so it's not like it's groundbreaking graphics they're doing each time. But it does take them a long time to do, because they do full like 24 episode seasons.
Oof, wow.
And in multiple graphic novels worth that all tie back together. It's a really well done show. I loved the 2 seasons they had between DC Infinite or DC Universe or whatever it was called, and then HBO Max. But the other piece you were just talking about, what was the other thing you said?
Harley Quinn.
So Harley Quinn this past week though.
Yeah.
I know you're still not watching it. We'll get you there to watch Harley Quinn the right way.
Mm-hmm.
She was not in this last episode. It was all about the Joker.
Oh.
As a suburban dad, stepfather, actually. And what he had to do to help his kids get into the right program at school and beat out the evil PTA mom that was beating them out.
Mm-hmm.
And the play between him and Chris Maloney, it's Alan Tudyk is Joker on there, and Chris Maloney as Commissioner Gordon was fantastic. It was so much fun. You even got Christopher Maloney to say these crimes are especially heinous nature.
That's pretty funny.
It was great. There were so many little one-liners and like callbacks in this episode. The show continues to be great and a lot of fun.
Are you in any way interested in the Wednesday Addams show?
I'll watch it.
So a trailer came out. Yeah, trailer came out, and it's really weird. There's a lot of people online because people online suck for the most part. No, none of you that are watching this, you're all awesome or listening to this. But there are a lot of people that are really, really, for lack of a better word, shitting on Luis Guzman for how he looks as Gomez, because he doesn't look like Raul Julia. He's a little heavier. His toupee is terrible. But if you look at the cartoon version of Gomez Adams wasn't a handsome gentleman either. The cartoon version was a big blubby face guy and definitely not handsome.
Yeah, I don't know anybody would call John Aston handsome.
No, I'm thinking of Raul Julia.
I know. I'm just saying, like
right.
The original Gomez.
Oh,
I would say he was a handsome guy.
I don't have a problem with the looks of the cast at all. The reason I bring it up is because when they showed the trailer, they basically showed everybody but Uncle Fester. Mm-hmm. There's no Uncle Fester in anywhere in the trailer. And when the creators Miles Millar and Alfred Goff were asked about it, they basically just said, "We have no comment on Uncle Fester. Watch the show." So people are speculating: is he in it? Is he not in it? Is it going to be some big name that pops out as Uncle Fester?
Fester can be a little problematic. Maybe it's Christopher Lloyd.
It could be Christopher Lloyd again.
Maybe it's Aunt Fester, and it's who Christina Ricci's playing.
Well, that would be a different show now, wouldn't it? Speaking of...
would it?
Well, not really. Speaking of those two guys, before I go over to the House of Dragon stuff...
Miller and Goff?
Yeah, they're the guys that did Smallville.
Oh.
And as you know, there's a podcast about Smallville on called Talkville. Have you gotten through any of it?
No, I can't listen to it.
Right. So the first couple episodes, Tom Welling's audio is terrible. I mean, it's like downright. They mentioned it. Like they actually have said something about it. And I think
I would take DeVito, Dylan. Sorry.
Dylan just said rumors say it could be Johnny Depp or Danny DeVito. I'd be okay with either of them, to be honest with you. That would actually suck me right into watching the show. But so they did. They're up to I think episode 4 or 5.
Yeah, they just had Kristen Krug on, right?
They did, and then they did another one after that where they did the episode Hourglass, where the old lady that can see the future.
Yeah,
and they're poking fun at some of the stuff that happens. Like they're totally poking fun at the old man. Why does she leave the old? In that one episode where the body falls out of the armoire in the building, in the shop, and they're both like, "Damn, who's that?" And it's like they were making fun of that like the whole show, and like they realize that some of the stuff just doesn't stick the landing, and like leaving an old man out by a pond, and then the old man falls into the river, and Lana's just like, "Oh, well, let's go find him," and like she's okay and not traumatized by it. Like they laugh at that. Later on in the episode, near the end, when Lex is standing amongst the skeletons, I never noticed this, but there's a ton of DC Easter eggs in there. You can
which one?
So it's called Hourglass. That's the episode where the old lady can see the future.
Yeah.
She touches them. So when she touches Lex sees himself in the white suit as president with the blood pouring down on him,
right,
standing over all the rubble, all the skeletons. In those skeletons are Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. Oh. They dress the skeletons and I never noticed that. And that episode was 20 years ago, I think, something like that. So that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it gets better if you like skip ahead an episode.
Tell me when his voice is fixed, and
his voice is fine. The last 2 episodes, it's much better.
All right,
they figured out whatever
they're back in for my next drive.
He's at home in a blue room, like he's got a poster of himself behind him. He's like, it was the only poster he had to I guess they're going to decorate Rosenbaum's sitting in this awesome looking room. Like every time I see that room,
that's where he does his podcast now.
Oh, it's so awesome. But anyway, we can talk about the Dragon Show.
Okay.
Wait, which one do I want to do? Nope, that's not it. Do this. Little House of the Dragon.
Well done.
Okay. See, now I would go to Steel City Con to see Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum in December. That actually is something I might have to look into.
Assuming they stay, because they bailed.
They have bailed on the last couple locally.
In Philly.
Yeah. I'll start with you.
No.
House of Dragon spoilers.
You've read the source material, Frank. I think you are truly the expert.
Do you know how long ago it was that I read the source material? To give your
opinion on how you think they're doing with
I am giving it a 6 to 7 out of 10 for this first episode.
Okay.
I liked it more than I thought I would like it. I really enjoy the political intrigue and the drama of the show more than I enjoy the dragons running around flaming everything, which didn't happen in this episode. But I enjoy that political stuff. I did also enjoy the fact that their jousting grounds looked like a big giant vagina when they zoomed in on it.
Priorities.
Yeah. It's not the same show. If you're on the fence about the show because you were hurt and need to talk to someone about season 8 Game of Thrones, like I was, I felt like they physically wounded me. This is a different show. It's different. King's Landing looks different. There's a lot of differences because you figure it's 172 years before the show that we know. So there's a lot of history to play with.
Yeah, so they made some weird choices, right? Where I knew we were in King's Landing, and then I was confused at one point. So I didn't think we were still in King's Landing when the Kingsguard was going and slaughtering people in the streets. I was very confused by some of the paths they took, storytelling wise, and then explained after the fact.
Right,
but it felt like we were coming into the middle of the story at points.
We do. So they definitely put them in the middle of something. This is 172 years before the Mad King, which is when the Baratheons
before Daenerys.
I'm looking at something now. So it's about 172 years before the Mad King's death.
Yeah, it's 178 years before Daenerys was born.
170. Right. So
yep, that was what it said at the beginning.
Right. So it's, and Martin's involved in it heavily at this point, and it sounds like from what the creators of this show have said is they have an actual definite ending in place, not like the last show. They know where they're going. They know what they're going to do.
Well, we know where it ends. It ends at Game of Thrones.
Well, kind of, yeah. If they go that far.
Look, I don't think it makes it past season 2.
I don't know yet. I will say that Matt Smith is phenomenal as a villain. Really, really acting wise. But see, you've seen him as the Doctor. Like you.
Yeah, he's tough to buy.
Right. I don't have that.
It's really hard for me to buy in for him in this character.
I don't have to worry about that because I never saw him as that, so I can see him from a fresh set of eyes.
I feel like this felt like it came in on like season 3 of a show, right? I think it was the thing.
Feels like it.
Which is fine for storytelling, right? Like let's jump right in. It just feels odd for being a prequel and still not starting the story. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
That feels. I don't know why you wouldn't do the show and have it be like in Valeria.
Well,
or in how they left Valeria. Like that's fascinating to me. We'll see. I don't know if I'm interested in this story yet.
I'm not 1,000% interested in the story. However,
I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, the pilot was interesting, like Dylan said. They definitely talked shit on the Baratheons again. The thing that I thought was a little much of a stretch was near the end where they're standing in front of the big dragon head, and he tells the story basically about what's going to happen, and he's got the dagger. He's got the dagger strapped to his side. Yeah. So he's telling.
Let me tell you about Game of Thrones.
Let me tell you what's going to happen in Game of Thrones. Let me tell you what just happened that hasn't happened yet, and that was a little bit of a.
And we're gonna tell you about the Song of Ice and Fire. I was like, oh my god.
Okay. Right. I mean, they're definitely going right on the nose with stuff.
I'm not excited about the time jump that we're gonna get, because actually by the end I was bought in on the actress playing Rhaenyra. Is it Rhaenyra?
Right. Yeah. There's two with similar name. So.
I thought she was great. And I'm not excited that we're going to switch actresses. I think in a week.
Do they? Can you?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, so I'm not excited about them doing that.
I'm just gonna snip that real fast.
Yeah, you're good. So I don't like losing that actress.
No, because I like her.
Yeah, the story was interesting. I don't, we'll see. I don't know if it's going to hold me long term. It moved faster than the beginning of Game of Thrones, which I appreciate in general.
Definitely.
There was a couple stretches where I'm like, okay, yeah, got it. You're doing this. There's a lot. It was very. There was nothing innovative about the storytelling. I think my biggest issue that I continue to have with it, and I watched a little bit of the inside the show afterwards.
Okay.
And the issue that I had with it is the issue that I've had every time I've heard the creators talk about it. Was we wanted to show the brutality of men against women and the patriarchy, how it happened at the time. I'm like, but it's a fantasy world. So they're keep trying to justify choices that they make, which I don't know that they need to, or it's the right way to go story-wise half the time with some of the brutality they're showing. Where they keep trying to make it about, look, this is a man's world and we want to demonstrate that, and we need to show it on film, drive home the point, and that's how it was during this time in the world of Westeros.
Right. What did you think about the childbirth thing? Did you have any issues with how they handled that and what they did there?
I didn't during the show until I listened to that thing afterwards, and they literally said we wanted to show what men did to women. I was like, no, that's not what you did. You didn't need to frame it that way for me and then ruin that scene. That I got what they were doing with that scene. It made sense.
Yeah.
I don't like how we set up that the dude's gonna get tetanus, I guess, from the Iron Throne. Come on.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And then he keeps cutting himself on the Iron Throne.
I like that the throne's bigger and more profound.
Yeah, so I guess, is it going to get melted and rebuilt? Is that their plan?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I guess it depends on how far we go into the future with this. Is your ending the beginning of this one? Do you obviously, because we watched the original series, we're used to the Starks, the Baratheons, and the Lannisters, and you're not getting that here. You get one Stark.
The Starks.
You get one Stark right now. You get a Baratheon who, as Dylan brought up, that they're kind of talking shit on.
Way to cast the Baratheons so that he looks like the Baratheons in Game of Thrones, though. Even though I think that's the captain, isn't it? The crazy captain.
It looked like it. It did, but I don't know. It's and then HBO Max went out last night apparently, and lots and lots and lots of people didn't get to see it last night. I didn't have a problem with it. No, I didn't have a problem. I I decided not to subscribe to HBO Max, but I'm not watching it illegally. So there's
It had 10+ million viewers
yeah.
between the two services, HBO and HBO Max, and made it
Jesus.
the highest most watched debut on HBO of all time.
They're definitely not going to break that. Will you shut up? Not you, the dog.
No, look, maybe with backer.
Oh. Okay. Ooh. Oof. Oof.
Well, to be fair to everything else that's released on there, they don't release everything else at 9 o'clock on Sunday night. They haven't done that for any HBO Max releases that I know of.
No.
Since the streaming service launched. Everything launched was like Thursday at noon.
No.
Right? So they can't really say this was the most watched debut because it's the first thing in 2 years they've debuted simulcast on HBO Max and HBO.
Right. You know what? If it makes David Zaslav happy, that's all that counts, right?
Yeah, no. Anything that makes him miserable is really what I'm hoping for in life at this point.
I feel the same way. Since we're in the HBO world, I'm gonna pop a quick DC thing in.
Oh God.
And then we can go to I got a couple quick Star Wars things and then over to the She-Hulk stuff. I sent you a text before that Jordan Elsis, the young man that plays Jonathan Kent, is being recast. And he finally broke his silence on why. And basically, it's a mental health issue for him. He put out a quote on it. He put an Instagram video out, and he said, "It's been a tough few weeks, as you might imagine, with everything going on with the show. It's sad. It's a real shame. I know that I was pumped for season 3 for sure, but what are you going to do? Anyway, mental health is definitely 100% priority. It's pinnacle. It's got to take precedence. And mine has been the last couple of years. It's been rough. I need some time to myself. I'm still debating whether I'm even going to act for a while. I may go in a different direction. I know that's definitely going to be disappointing to some people." So, and that's sad to see. I mean, I liked him, and I really hope he gets his head right. It seems to be a real common thing that's happening in Hollywood as of late.
It is. I think the pandemic and not working.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people that, you see a lot of things going on with these young actors now. Acting doesn't pay what it used to.
No.
First.
No.
And it's not the glamorous lifestyle that it used to be because most of these kids are like in Canada all the time now.
Yeah.
Or in Georgia. They're not in LA all the time. And then to move to LA, if you look at the Sydney Sweeten from White Lotus and Euphoria, she recently had an article come out where she's like, the only reason I do all these endorsements on Instagram and promote all these products is because I can't afford my rent as on my actress wages.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's up for 2 Emmys.
And she can't afford her rent. That's totally disgusting. And I'm gonna punch to the thing that Dom said in a minute up.
I did hear one other thing about that actor though, which they may be working around with this storyline.
Oh.
Is that he also had an exemption from being vaccinated that he used last year because Canada did not require you.
Right.
As long as you did all your quarantines, there was still a time. But since last season, they have put in a requirement where to come to Canada and work, you are required to be vaccinated. The same reason like Rafael Nadal was not allowed to play tennis in Canada. Yeah,
I was going to say, I know it's like that for sports because there's a lot of sports.
So that's period. If you come to work in Canada, you must be vaccinated. So I think it'll be interesting to see any other shows and what actors and actresses we do not get in this next season for reasons like that.
Right. And as Dom pointed out, Tom Holland also came out last week and said he was stepping away from social media, basically for the same reasons, for his own mental health.
Yeah, look, it's toxic for these young guys. And look, you know how much we all look at our phones and social media. Ooh. Imagine if you had 10,000 people an hour yelling at you.
Yeah.
On that phone.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to not comment back and troll them all.
Yeah, if you follow Kevin Smith, he does every once in a while.
He does.
He'll randomly dig in on somebody.
I've noticed, and real fast, what Dom said is a streamer secret for everyone. For those of you not watching and listening, these streams like HBO and Disney Plus usually drop about 5 minutes before the actual time. So if you tune in a couple minutes early, about 5 minutes or so early, your stuff won't crash. I have noticed that if you clap back at someone, or not clap back, let me rephrase that. If you reply back to a famous person on Twitter within the first 5 or 10 minutes of them tweeting something, they're most likely still looking at the app and will actually reply to you or like your comment.
Yeah.
Past that, it gets a little more sketchy, and they don't. Which again, they don't have to.
Yeah, David Boreanaz replied to my wife once about something.
That's phenomenal.
So
Ange got into a Twitter fight with Smash Mouth guy.
With the former singer of Smash Mouth. Yes.
First, we call him Smash Mouth guy.
I think she wrecked his world so bad on Twitter he quit the band.
I think so. If you look the hashtag Smash Mouth guy up on Twitter, you'll definitely see her and I replying back and forth.
That's great.
Him. Yeah.
So Dom, other thing with that, and I think this ties back into that piece for HBO. Like they can claim biggest streaming debut, this, that, and the other thing, right? But again, like Disney Plus, it's 3 a.m. when they drop their episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that. If it was 9 p.m., which they've done a few times.
Yeah.
But they don't announce it in advance. It just kind of happens. When you have weeks of buildup, like, hey, this is going to come out at 9 o'clock on Sunday. Great. I think we start to see that more in the future, with that, because that's a great story to drive subscriptions.
Absolutely.
And instead of making it like, hey, you're going to have to avoid spoilers all day Friday for the show that dropped last night until you have time to watch it, unless you wake up early to watch it Thursday morning or Friday morning, right? As happens to us all the time with the Marvel shows.
Yep.
It's like, all right, well, I can't look at my phone until I watch the show.
It gets like that when the movies come out too.
Yeah.
Like you almost have to go see a movie. Well, for what we do, if you don't want it spoiled, we almost have to go see it Thursday.
But they've started dropping the gag orders on Mondays now.
Yeah.
When the movies come out, it's bad.
It is. It really is. Star Wars, a couple of really fast, quick things, is The Mandalorian season 4 starting to creep up on us next year.
I was going to say, are we already at season 4 of that show?
Is it 3?
No,
we're
3.
3. Sorry.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Season 4 is filming. Okay, sure.
In an interview with
every guest star in that already.
In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Favreau and Filoni discussed who their dream guest star is. Can you guess who their dream guest star is?
I can.
Did you read it?
I did. I'm pretty sure it's George Lucas.
It's George Lucas. So there's that. They also have released a Star Wars Rebel episodes guide to watch before season 3 comes out. So these are the specific episodes you want to watch that are going to help you understand season 3, which I think is a little bit of a spoiler. Maybe a little bit of a spoiler if you're saying what episodes to watch.
Well, no, because we know that Bo-Katan.
Oh, it's not just Rebels. I'm sorry. This is the Clone Wars and Rebels together.
Yeah, which Bo-Katan was in all those, and we know it's going to focus on Bo-Katan this season.
So it's the Mandalore plot, Clone Wars season 2, episodes 12 to 14. Corruption in the Academy, season 3, episodes 5 and 6. A Friend in Need, Clone Wars season 4, episode 14.
Okay.
And then season 5, episodes 14 to 16. That's got Darth Maul, the Shadow Conspiracy. The Siege of Mandalore.
Fall of Mandalore and how the Darksaber came into the possession of the Mandalorians.
Yep. Then there's the Siege of Mandalore, season 7, episodes 9 to 12.
Yep.
And then we go to Rebels, season 3, episodes 15 and 16, Trials of the Darksaber and Legacy of Mandalore. And then back to the other. It's basically all the Mandalore stuff. The last one is House.
Look, that makes total sense, right? We know that they're going to visit how Mandalore fell,
and I'm cool with that,
and how we got there. So and honestly, there's a lot of story, that it can be told there that then you don't have to revisit, because it's a lot of story.
Yeah,
they went deep in the Mandalorian lore on Rebels and Clone Wars, and really set a lot of it up. And I've been wondering the whole time we've had the Mandalorian, like what happened? How did we get to where we were in the Mandalorian from the Mandalore we saw in those shows? And do we get Gar Saxon? Are we going to get like an older Gar Saxon played by Jon Favreau?
I would like that.
He did the voice on the show.
I would like that.
We won't. Doesn't look anything like him. We'd have to get who's our guy from Flash this season? You didn't watch?
Tom Cavanaugh?
Damien Dark. Who's what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Was he in it?
No, but that he would be Gar Saxon. He has the look to be Gar Saxon.
It was Neil McDonough.
Yes.
McDonough, whatever.
McDonough. I can't wait. I would love to see him in that, but
Yeah, and
we'll see where they're going. I'm excited for the next season. Hopefully, Filoni and Favreau have worked out how to move a story along without flashing back to the last episode too much.
And Dom's right. The Facebook page that I'm in with him, he's up first, watches it before anyone else, and gets a quick post in without any spoilers.
Dom's a young man.
Before we go over to the She-Hulk thing, news that excited Dom very, very much, and it's definitely going to help Dom push Spider-Man No Way Home back past Avatar, is they're re-releasing it in theaters with 11 more minutes of unseen footage.
You're assuming that Top Gun Maverick's not going to take them all out. Let
me tell you what. Top Gun Maverick isn't losing steam at all.
Just took out Infinity War.
It did, but domestically.
I know.
I messaged Dom when he said that, and I was like, he said 11 more minutes, and he was excited, and I said, does that mean you're going to see it 11 more times? And he put 11 only, haha. So
yeah,
Dom's doing heroes work there.
It's. I mean, so what is it? 4 hours and 17 minutes now? Is that
probably? Yeah. Whatever. I'm okay with it. But
just look, the 11 extra minutes will probably be on YouTube like 3 or 4 days later. I'm good. I'll watch there.
That's fine.
Now unless Star Fox shows up, I'm good.
I want to see Paul Giamatti. I want to see Paul Giamatti show up as Rhino.
Look, I would take that. I would take the clarity of some of the people in the clouds.
Yeah, he was the only one I actually physically saw.
A little more Tom Hardy, even.
Yeah,
I would take that.
Okay, so She-Hulk. 7:53. We're I don't even see the time. I don't have the time on the thing that it's time.
Dom, I bet Top Gun is still in every theater in the Midwest.
It's definitely in the South.
She-Hulk in the extended cut would be awesome.
I would love a little Mysterio.
Are we holding off on your D23?
Yeah.
You got?
I totally forgot about that.
Your maybe spoilers that you sent me earlier, and then
I did totally forget about that. Let me pull that up from you. So allegedly, and that's allegedly, and I got this from Dom in the Facebook group that I really should invite you to. You'll have fun in there. Allegedly at D23, Marvel Studios allegedly will announce the cast and director of Fantastic Four. That's a hell of a spoiler to hold off on. Is nobody in that cast really?
I bet it's all unknowns.
That's okay. The cast of the Thunderbolts.
That's no.
Okay. The Wonder Man series.
So I want to know, what are they going to say about the Wonder Man series? Like, make it official,
or
tell us that we're getting. Tell us that we're getting Nathan Fillion, and he's going to be in his 70s when we get the show.
Right. The project dedicated to Nova.
um,
The
that's
hot,
fine. So Nova's. I mean, look, we got the introduction of the Nova Corps,
right.
right? Nova as an individual character, Richard Rider's character,
Mhm.
skews very close to what they did with Captain Marvel, though, and how they kind of rewrote her story.
Right.
Like he becomes Richard Rider, and we know the Nova Corps is wiped out by Thanos,
Right.
right? So Richard Rider is just a human kid, like a teenager, who becomes the embodiment of the Nova Force.
Ooh,
But
thunder.
they didn't give us the Nova Force because in the movie they
Right.
all just flew around in little rocket ships. So there
Gotcha.
wasn't a Nova Force. So I don't know how they're going to play that Nova thing without reworking the whole thing and then make us care about Richard Rider. He was an interesting character the way they played him. He became popular in the 70s when Jim Starlin was doing all this stuff, and you got a lot of cosmic, the original Captain Marvel and Thanos and the original Guardians, Star Fox, all those things going. And then we played into he became popular then he kind of went away. They reintroduced him as a member of the New Warriors in the mid 80s with like Namorita and Marvel Boy. Firestar was in that.
Right.
Night Thrasher, Speedball. And they brought him back then and kind of redid the character. He was popular enough in that they relaunched his own series. And you got more Nova Corps, and they're like the Green Lantern Corps of the Marvel Universe is how they're kind of put in, where they all have sectors that they watch and things like that.
Right.
So we'll see. I think that would work better in animation, honestly, than in
We'll
live
see.
action.
We'll
But
see.
they don't have anything cosmic on their slate.
No, so we got the
Guardians.
Halloween. We got the Halloween special. Okay. We have hashtag Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to direct it.
Ooh, did you hear that? That's a nice crackle of thunder. We have Deadpool 3 and Armor Wars. We don't have anything on Eternals. So I still really want to know what the hell that head's doing out in the Indian Ocean. So please someone get on that and tell me what the hell's going on with that. Because I need to know that. I need it now.
I don't. So here's the thing with Shang-Chi 2. I think we get a director for Secret Wars.
Okay.
Because they announced the director for Kang Dynasty, not for Secret Wars, but the director of Kang Dynasty is the director of Shang-Chi.
Okay.
So you're not going to let the guy from Shang-Chi direct Shang-Chi 2?
I don't know what they're doing. Really, I have no idea what they're doing.
I will say that the hold on, where was I? Shang-Chi, Kang Dynasty. I read Kang Dynasty. I read the comic series of Kang Dynasty. So Captain Marvel will probably be a major player in that.
Okay.
The comics is Miss Marvel or Warbird, as she was known at that time. There's a huge part in it, based around Kang's kid. However, Wonder Man also and Wanda have a big part in it because in the comics, Vision's brain was actually based on Wonder Man.
Gotcha.
So when Wanda fell in love with Vision, it was really because Wonder Man loved her.
I
why
see.
Vision loved her, and they ended up together because he was based on those brain patterns of Simon Williams.
Gotcha.
So we'll see how they and who they pull in as Wonder Man, and how they do it. It's a very weird power set, and it takes some setup. I mean, he was in the Avengers in the comics. I think he was Avengers number like 16. He was introduced like old school Avengers character.
Right. I've heard of the character. I know the character only from the video game that I played on the on my iPad that
Speaking
went
of
away.
that, Midnight Suns, so soon.
Before we go into She-Hulk, and we're going to go over a couple minutes with this, there is a large rumor out there that Henry Cavill is playing Hyperion coming soon.
Then we need a Squadron Supreme movie, which they're not going to pull off Squadron Supreme in the movies.
If you're going to bring him in and just give him a substantial role that he can run with for a while.
Yeah, that's not Hyperion. Hyperion is a bad guy, but you don't have a good guy.
No.
In your stories right now, capable of going up against him.
Then I also saw another rumor about him in Superman 2 or whatever. But anyway,
the Hyperion character was real quick on that. So Hyperion was was Marvel's. I forget who came back and wrote it, but Marvel did a series called The Squadron Supreme in the mid '80s. That was essentially the Justice League.
Love it.
It was basically the Justice League. There was
Gotcha.
Nighthawk, who was basically Batman, Hyperion, who was Superman, Dr. Spectrum, who was Green Lantern, like the Wizard, who was Flash. Like literally, they just ripped off every member of the Justice League and put them in this other character piece, right?
Right.
And it was this limited edition 12-issue series. Wham bam, awesome run, out. And then they decided, oh, we have these characters we stopped using. Let's bring them back. So now you got Hyperion again. But there's no way they're doing a Squadron Supreme movie. No way. The copyright issues they would fall into in the lawsuits can't make it worth it.
I guess we'll see. I don't think you're going to see. I don't want to see him come in as a cameo as that. Like kind of like you wasted John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
That, like I said, it's Marvel's Superman.
Yeah. Basically. I mean, that's probably why the rumor's out there. But
no, literally, he has the same origin story as Superman.
Oh, well, that would be neat.
Like all of these characters in Squadron super fun series. Like I said, I have it over there.
I get you.
But it's literally they all have the same origins as the character, and at the end they all get. It's a great series, awesome series. Recommended if you haven't read it. Comixology or Marvel Unlimited, one of those.
Okay. All right.
She-Hulk.
Finally, She-Hulk spoilers. We're finally getting there. I'll go you first. What did you think of She-Hulk?
It was fun. It wasn't like awesome, but it was fun.
Okay.
I am a big, as I've said it before, I'm a huge Tatiana Maslany fan.
Yep.
And I think she was great.
Okay.
You know, some of the stuff was like, oh, this is how they're going to go with that. Like, all right, so she has a little cut. He has a little cut. Oh my God, our blood mangled. Now you're a Hulk. That was weird.
But that's not just the only reason she's a Hulk. She's got a mutation. But word's coming up so much now.
Well, no, yeah, but that's from the comics too. We're just they're her and Bruce both do.
Are they making her a mutant?
No.
And if they make her a mutant, does that make Hulk a mutant?
No.
Because that would completely change the Hulk's backstory, right?
Yeah, but it's the gamma radiation is what it's just there's a mutation in their blood, but it's not because they're mutant. It's just some people don't get the flu. Like
Fair enough. Yeah, I know somebody that never got the flu.
Yeah, so they you know, that was it was a blood transfusion in the comics. I don't know why they couldn't do the blood transfusion still.
Well,
that would have made more sense.
They made it more exciting by having a ship from Sakaar there, right?
Yeah, which I can't wait to see when they pop back up. I mean, there's cameos galore from what we heard, right?
Yes.
I thought it was just silly enough. I think it's a tough entry point to the character for people that aren't diehard Marvel fans. Because like my wife was like, I don't get it. This is dumb.
Yeah.
Because if you're not like, all right, whatever Marvel's selling, I'm in. Let me go. This is a hard pitch if you're not like a diehard, like, oh, I got that inside joke and this inside joke.
Right.
Oh, they're all so great. I enjoyed it because I got all the inside jokes. If you're a casual watcher,
That's the same thing I said. So as far as where this falls in the timeline, because Phase 4 had us jumping all over the place, and I have the definitive Phase 4 chronological viewing order. This show technically in the MCU is set 8 months after Endgame. Okay?
That seems early.
It does. But here is the chronological viewing order, including She-Hulk, before I get to other She-Hulk stuff. You have WandaVision, then the Eternals, then Shang-Chi, then Falcon and Winter Soldier, then She-Hulk, then Moon Knight, Thor, Spider-Man No Way Home, Hawkeye, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Disappointment, and then Miss Marvel. That's the way it should have come out, and that's the chronological order of watching them for it all to make sense.
I don't know that I buy that, but okay.
That's just what that's just what the MCU is saying.
That's who said that?
That's from Marvel. Like that's their That's their chronological viewing order.
Okay. I mean, who gives a shit where Moon Knight falls?
Yeah, well, I don't care where Doctor Strange falls. I wish
get
it would
They're
just
filming
fall
Moon Knight
away.
too. Yay. That makes zero sense that Doctor Strange is that late.
Right.
Because of the way they told the story, it seemed like it was like fairly quick after everybody came back that happened.
Right. Now, let me ask you a couple questions.
So that means, hold on, Wanda was living on that farm and nobody gave a shit for like a year?
I guess.
Or 2 years? Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's fine.
What did you think of how they healed Hulk's arm after going through the whole thing of this is how it is, this is permanent, it can never be fixed?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. I really didn't have a problem with it either.
I thought the whole Hulk's arm never being fixed thing was dumb anyway.
Yeah. So the comic writer, Dan Slott, who was the one person that wrote the most She-Hulk comics, saw the first 4 episodes and he said it's outstanding. So I guess that's pretty high praise from the guy that actually, drove the character in the comics for a long time.
Well, I think he did the latest run, the run of 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's. I think it'll be fun. I think the style of storytelling they're going to do, there wasn't a great entry point.
No.
At all to do like all of a sudden we're going to break the fourth wall, but we're not like Deadpool.
Right.
And Dom, yeah. So because I know our guys on Facebook can't see. So, the Captain America Star-Lord's grandpa, I saw that online too. A couple of people post that. And that was fine. I never really cared, but I get that that's like they're trying to make it give us another perspective on the Marvel universe that we don't usually get of like a fan that hasn't been in it the whole time.
Right.
So if this falls, then when does Scott Lang's book come out is what I want to know.
I would like to know that too.
Because is this after Scott Lang's book came out or before?
Here's a couple of things to get us to the end. Kevin Feige was the one to clarify, is Steve Rogers a virgin comment, for one.
Yeah.
Like they went to him and he was the one, he loved the fact that it was a joke and he's the one that made the answer. Chris Evans on Twitter was great replying to it.
I saw it. It was fantastic.
Yeah. The team that the writers, that the one thing that they had zero control over was Daredevil's suit. Marvel, Kevin Feige, they knew what they wanted Daredevil to look like. They said, this is what he looks like. That's it. So I feel like this is going to be a soft reboot of Daredevil as we go forward.
Mm-hmm.
And real quick, the little Easter eggs that they threw out there, because there's a ton of Easter eggs in this episode.
I think every episode is going to be chock full. That's why it's such a hard entry point, because it's like so many, like, the him and Tony building the bar thing.
Yep.
It's interesting, and that's fun.
You get the Shang-Chi post-credit thing explained of why he's Banner and not Smart Hulk, because of the thing he had on his arm, which was weird. The Sakaran spaceship, right? The Gamma Lab, the Iron Man shrine in the house, the Iron Man helmet, the Tony and Bruce, Smart Hulk is the official name of the Hulk in the MCU, as he made jokes about how you don't get to pick your name.
Yeah, some of the jokes they ran and they kept running at him.
Yeah, they did. And obviously the Captain America Easter egg at the end with the, with Marvel continuing to tease that they're going to say the F word and cutting them off right at the U.
Yeah, basically. they're going to give that to Deadpool, I'm sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
there was a lot more language. There was a lot more colorful language in this episode than I've seen in other Marvel shows too.
Yeah, and it's this isn't a kid show.
Nope.
Following up Miss Marvel, which was definitely a kid show. This is definitely, and it sets the precedent early based on their conversations. This isn't a show for your kids. This
Nope.
one, which is what we're going to start seeing more of. I don't think Echo is going to be a show that's appropriate for kids.
I don't think so either, and I think Kingpin's looking good in that for now too.
And Daredevil definitely not going to be.
No. That's all I got this week. This week I have, me personally, the newest season of Destiny comes out tomorrow.
Crap.
That's my
You're not
excitement.
watching anything this weekend.
No, I am. Well, here's why I said this weekend. So I got the Destiny thing tomorrow, and our old friend Jimmy Wooten's in town for the week. So
that's right.
We're going to the Phillies game Thursday, Hall of Fame level seats, baby.
Nice.
And he's out of here on Friday, so I do have Saturday and Sunday
to play Destiny again. Got it.
Play Destiny and watch. I can't play Destiny all the time. They basically they only let you play up to a certain point before they stop you, and you have to wait a week.
Got it.
So for now it's Assassin's Creed Brotherhood all the way back to Ezio.
Good times.
Look, I like to redo old stuff. That's pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah, look, I gotta watch the Only Murders in the Building finale, another episode of Harley Quinn. I'm trying to get through season 3 of Barry still.
Tell you what, Wednesday I'll try and watch Day of the Day Hunters. How's that?
Day Shift?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, good. About time.
Day Hunters.
And and then we'll have some more She-Hulk news, some more Day of the Dragon or House of the Dragon next week. If you're listening, make sure you drop us a 5-star rating wherever you go. Tell a friend to download us so you can listen to us as you're out and about. And thanks everybody that tuned in video-wise. And thanks for finding the Geek Spot with us. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.